What's up my fellow Cobras, welcome back to another Joe Cobra video. This time a review for the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which is a compilation and remaster of the critically acclaimed Mass Effect trilogy. It is developed by BioWare and is published by EA. The game is out now and can be played on Microsoft Windows, Xbox One consoles and PlayStation 4 and 5. Most gamers will agree that the Mass Effect trilogy is easily one of the most influential franchises in video games. Its fleshed out futuristic setting, unforgettable characters and gripping story put it on par with the all-time greats of science fiction, gaming and film. And because of its importance to video games and the sci-fi genre, Mass Effect was overdue for an update on current gen consoles and PC. And while it's not perfect and not the remake most of us would have liked, Mass Effect Legendary Edition is definitely the best way to experience this modern day classic. So let's start with the oldest game in the trilogy, 2007's Mass Effect, which received the biggest improvements in terms of graphics, gameplay and user friendliness. I still remember when it first released, Mass Effect's controls were so sluggish and unresponsive that it really did take me out of the experience. I always felt that this was probably down to BioWare trying to find a balance between its action gameplay and role-playing mechanics, with it also easily being their most ambitious game at the time. Thankfully here, the shooting, cover system and running are much snappier and smoother than before. Now I'm not saying that the combat is as good as a modern day third-person shooter, but it's a damn sight better than the original version. The game also gets rid of class-based equipment restrictions, so now all classes can use whatever weapon or armor type that they like while still keeping the class-specific boosts, adding some welcome flexibility. We also see some new additions to the character creator, and the user interface has also seen a change, bringing it more in line with the UI of the sequels, making it easier to see your character and squad shields and health. And the good old Mako ground vehicle, which is used for traversing the planets you land on, now handles much more like, say, Andromeda's Nomad vehicle. This was one of the most welcome changes, as the Mako's heavier weight, new boost system and improved weapons targeting make exploring the beautiful planets and moons so much more enjoyable. The Mako can still feel a little bit floaty at times, but I will take this version over the original any day. Some other improvements for all three games in the collection now feature enhanced lighting, graphical effects and improved textures. While the sequels do benefit from a boost in graphics, it's the first Mass Effect that almost looks like an entirely different game. Some of the details that could not be seen as well in the original now look amazing, giving the world a more lifelike appearance. Of course, as this is a remaster and not a remake, there is still the stiff, awkward animations and the terrible lip syncing that still show the game's age, especially in the first game. But overall, this is without a doubt the best the trilogy has ever looked and sounded. One of the biggest gripes that people had with the first game was the annoyingly long elevator rides. You still have to take elevators from time to time, but at least now we can skip them after at least 30 seconds. And for those who enjoyed the witty elevator banter, well, it's still there but can also be skipped now. Then there is the brilliant DLC, most of which came out well after each of the game's releases, which are now thankfully all integrated into the plot. For example, you won't be able to play Mass Effect 2's fantastic Lair of the Shadow Broker mission until you reach a certain point in the game's story. This, I felt, makes the entire trilogy so much more cohesive, and if you've never played the originals, you won't be able to tell what's DLC and what was there from the beginning. But unfortunately for some, Mass Effect 3's multiplayer mode has been dropped. Playing through the multiplayer would help raise your galactic readiness for the game's final mission. But to compensate for this, you will now be able to raise your galactic readiness by playing through the two previous games and making as many allies as possible. Not having the multiplayer mode will be a letdown for some, but I can also understand the reasons why BioWare had to drop it. On the plus side though, at least we can now play all three games back to back. Veterans and newcomers can now enjoy the Legendary Trilogy without having to wait for years in between games. Though you are free to play the games in any order you like, I highly recommend that you obviously start with the first and work your way up. And just a quick note for us fans of achievements, well, they have thankfully been updated here too. Some new achievements have also been added, with some even streamlined into one or removed completely, while others have had their objective descriptions or names updated. Progress for some achievements will also carry across all 3 games, like for example, killing 250 enemies across the trilogy. And as a fan of achievements, I am very glad that BioWare took the time to do this as well. With Mass Effect Legendary Edition, BioWare has resurrected this much loved trilogy of games in a very big way. And although they are technically still old games, the updated graphics, new UI and upgraded controls make it feel so fresh. Even without the new fancy visuals and snappy controls, it was still one of the best sci-fi games money could buy, thanks to the very deep lore, beautiful alien planets to explore, and an unforgettable cast of characters. Whether you are a veteran or a newcomer, you really do owe it to yourself to experience Commander Shepard's adventure. And as for you newcomers to the trilogy, well, I am really jealous of the fact that you all get to experience the Mass Effect trilogy in all its polished glory for the very first time. I am going to give Mass Effect Legendary Edition a fantastic 9 out of 10. So guys, thank you all so much for watching my review. I really do hope you enjoyed it. And please guys, as always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button now, and if you never want to miss one of my videos, then please make sure you hit the bell button. So thanks again guys, take care of yourselves, and I will see you all soon on the next Joe Cobra video.